7 days, and on the last day of the fasting, Dan had a mysterious dream. In that dream, Dan was playing with little children in the sitting room, and Treasure came out and chased those children away, and when Dan woke up, he wasn't able to understand the dream. So he went to the pastor and told him about the dream. The pastor held Dan and Treasure's hand and prayed for them. After the prayers, he had revelations, and he said, "Madam, you are the reason why you and your husband have been childless for 15 years. You are the cause of everything, madam. Please, man of God, how is she the problem? I know my wife very well. She can never put her hands in any evil things." Dan asked, "Many years ago, when your wife got pregnant for the first time, a poor little girl came and begged her for food, but she chased the poor girl away, and even when the girl came with money to buy something from her, she still chased her away, and when the girl wanted to cross to another shop to buy what she wanted, she had a terrible accident, and it was God who saved the little girl. So for that reason, God withheld giving her a child and kept on testing her whenever she was pregnant by sending unusual children to her shop to see whether she was truly ready to have a child, but she kept on failing the test by chasing the children away." The pastor responded, "Man of God, you're right. My wife is always being very harsh to little children, and I kept on asking myself why she always doing that. Man of God, please, what should we do now?" Treasure couldn't utter a word. She was busy weeping silently. "My brother, the truth is that God doesn't do serious things to unserious people. Your wife is not a serious type, so God cannot do serious things to her. She's praying and crying badly for God to give her children, whereas other people's children are her enemies. That means she is not ready to have a child." The pastor responded, "Please, pastor, I am ready to do anything to have children. Henceforward I vow to take people's children as my own. Please help me, man of God. I have realized my errors that no one has ever told me." Treasure rolled on the ground, held the pastor's trousers, and cried for help. "Madam, stand up. Go to your town, cook all kinds of food, and buy all kinds of things that you know little children love very well. Organize a children's party. When you are done with that, your husband, not you, because everybody knows you as children's hater. So your husband will go into all the houses in People's Street and invite all the children to attend the party, and make sure more than 20 children attend the party, and when they come to the party, give them all the food you cooked for the party and all the items you bought, and make sure all of them collect the food and the gifts." So Dan and Treasure did exactly as the pastor instructed, and the children came out massively and attended the party. A few days later, John's wife was about to give birth, so John rushed her to a hospital, and Favor followed them too. By then Precious was 19 years. A few moments later, John's wife gave birth to a girl, and when her adoptive mother, Mama Sarah, heard, she ran joyfully to the hospital, and when she reached the hospital, she was busy staring at the female doctor who was attending to her adoptive daughter, John's wife. Even when John and his wife were talking to her, she was still busy staring at the doctor without uttering a word. "Madam, what's going on? You've been staring at me confusingly since you came to this ward. Hope there is no problem," the doctor asked. "You resemble my daughter who disappeared 19 years ago and left her 3-month-old baby," Mama Sarah responded. "Really? Please, madam, what's your missing daughter's name?" the doctor asked curiously. "Her name is Sarah," she responded. "Please, let's go to my office. Nurse, please take care of this lady and the babies." The doctor took Mama Sarah to her office. "Jesus Christ, am I dreaming? Mummy, is me Sarah, your daughter. I have been looking for you everywhere in Nigeria, but I couldn't find you. Mummy, you've completely changed. I couldn't even recognize my mom," said the doctor. "Sarah, you're very wicked and heartless. You betrayed me woefully. I never knew you could completely abandon me and your 3-month-old child. I regretted the day I gave birth to you," Mama Sarah muttered with tears eyes. "Mummy, I am very sorry for everything. I know I don't deserve to be called your daughter, but please hear me out. I ran away that year out of frustration and depression. I didn't abandon you and my baby. I ran away to hustle so that I would be able to take care of you and my daughter. And when I came back a few years later, the house we used to stay was collapsed, and I asked all our neighbors and relatives where you were. They told me you had been relocated to a city, but they didn't know the name of the city. I searched for you for a good 5 years, but I couldn't find you, so I decided to use the money that I worked to sponsor myself in school. So, Mummy, where have you been? And where is Favor? Is she alive or dead? Dr. Sarah asked. Well, I thank God for today. After you left me unaware, it wasn't easy for me and the baby. After our house collapsed, God sent us a helper who relocated us to the city, and it was in that city I saw John. John and his wife have been the ones who took care of me and Favor. Mama Sarah replied. Who is John, Mummy? Sarah asked. Corporate John that got you pregnant. Okay, Mummy, please, you haven't answered my second question. Is Favor alive or dead? Favor was that fair girl who was with you in the ward, and the lady whom you were attending to is the wife of John, and John was the man who was sitting close to the lady. Jesus, Mummy, you mean that big girl is my daughter Favor? Yes, she is. Mummy, let's go. I want to see my daughter. Sarah and her mom went to the ward. Favor, this is your mom. John, this is Sarah. My daughter John's wife. Here is my missing daughter whom I told you about. Sarah, this is Abigail, John's wife, and also my adoptive daughter. She treated me like her biological mom. Sarah embraced her daughter Favor, John, and John's wife joyfully. John, thank you very much for taking care of my mom and Favor. May God bless you and your family. Thank you, Sister Abigail, for taking good care of my mom. Sarah appreciated. Wow. 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 So Sarah, this is truly you. God is awesome. How is your family? John asked. I thank God for my family. We're doing great. Sarah responded. Sarah, have you married? Mama Sarah asked. Yes, Mummy, my husband is the owner of this hospital. Sarah responded. Sarah, are you saying your husband owns this big hospital? John asked confusingly. Yes. Thereafter, Sarah introduced her mom to her husband and all her husband's family members. A week later, 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, were coming back from school in heavy rain. Those children were drenched and drained, and Treasure was just coming back from work. So when she saw them walking miserably under heavy rain, she stopped her car and went down to meet them. Little children, why are you people walking under this heavy rain? Where is your mummy or daddy? Treasure asked. Auntie, we've been waiting for our mummy to come and pick us up from school, but she didn't come, and we're very hungry, that's why we're trekking home. The senior one responded. Oh, I think your mom is preoccupied with something very important. My house is the next compound. You people should follow me to my house so that I can get you people something to eat, said Treasure. No, Auntie, we're not going with you. My mummy and daddy said we should not eat from a stranger. They said. Okay, let me take you people to a nearby restaurant. So the children decided to follow her, and she took them to a boutique to change their wet school uniform. Thereafter she took them to an eatery and bought them their favorite meal, and when they finished, she was about to go and drop them at the area that they told her. On their way. Auntie, I want to eat a biscuit, one of them said. Auntie, I am craving for ice cream, the second one said. Auntie, please, I want to lick sweet, the last one said. Okay, you people should stay in the car, I am coming. Treasure went down to get them what they requested, and when she came back those children were nowhere to be found and the car was locked. She was super confused. She checked everywhere, but she couldn't find them, but she saw their school bags, and when she opened their bags she was shocked by what she saw. She opened the boy's school bag. She saw toys, baby's diaper, and boy's clothes for a newborn baby. She hastily opened the 2 girls' school bag and she saw babies' clothes, diapers, teddy bear, and toys. Treasure became extremely scared. She called her husband and told him everything, and she drove fearfully to the house. Honey, look at what I told you, she said. This is mysterious. Let me call the pastor and tell him what just happened, said Dan. After he told the pastor about the strange thing that happened, the pastor congratulated them and told them that God had granted their requests. A week later, Treasure was pregnant, and 3 months after she got pregnant, she had a strange dream. In that dream, those group of strange children who normally came in her dream to beat her whenever she was 3 months pregnant, came and played with her in the dream. 6 months later, she gave birth freely to triplets, 2 girls and a boy, so after her parents heard the surprise news, they went and visited her. After Treasure had been discharged from the hospital, her parents summoned her to reconcile with her siblings, because her siblings hated her since that day she gave the company job that her uncle secured for her to Daniel. That year she gave birth to triplets was a Christmas period, so all her siblings came to spend holiday with their parents. After their parents reconciled them. "Bro, John, who is this girl who has been calling you daddy?" "Daddy?" Treasure asked. "She's my daughter. Her name is Favor." John responded. "I don't know this one, but I knew when you had your firstborn who is a boy," said Treasure. John narrated everything to her. He told her how he accidentally got Favor's mom pregnant during his youth service and how he saw Favor and her grandma. He also told her how Precious was engaged in a terrible accident after being chased away by a lady whom she went to buy food items 16 years ago. "Which area did she engage in the accident?" Treasure asked. John called the area, and Treasure suddenly remembered what the pastor told her about the poor girl who came to buy something from her that she chased away, and when the girl wanted to cross a road to another shop to buy what she wanted, she had an accident. "I remember a girl like that, but was her grandma blind?" Treasure asked. "Yes, her grandma was blind." John responded. "Chai. She was the one whom I chased away that day," said Treasure. "Treasure, you mean you were the lady who chased her away simply because she was poor and helpless?" John asked. "Yes, I was the one. I suffered the consequences for a good 16 years. It was because of what I did to her that God withheld giving me a child. Please, Favor, I am very sorry. Forgive me." Treasure cried out for forgiveness. "Auntie Treasure, I have forgiven you. I believe you have learned lessons," said Favor. "Thank you, Favor, for the forgiveness. I have learned to be nice to everyone irrespective of their class, because no one knows tomorrow. Look at you, whom I looked down on and chased away yesterday is now my niece. Life is indeed a mystery." Thanks for watching. Please ensure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you would like more of the stories, please comment continue. Bye for now.